Unfortunately, Pete Hegseth is from a town like 30 minutes from me, and he must be home visiting because I just got a whiff of something that smells a lot like stale Jack Daniels and crushing disappointment.
Huh.
Oh, that's why. What is this walking advertisement for why abortion should be legal blabbering about now?
Does this look like a Republican?
You mean the middle-aged white dude wearing a shirt with a gun on it? I won't go as far as saying he looks like a Republican, but I will say I've seen less Republican-looking people than him.
Like, it's just a question for all you liberals saying that Vance Bolter is a Republican.
Liberals aren't saying that. Everybody who lives in fucking reality is saying that. Because Vance Bolter is a MAGA Christian nationalist terrorist. And we know this because he's told us. What we don't know is why you brought up that picture at the beginning of this video.
Your only evidence of that is his neighbor saying he was a Trump supporter.
And also his roommate and his friends, and the fact that he voted in the 2024 Republican primary, and the fact that he was a conservative preacher, and you know, the fact that he shot 2 Democrats, and the fact that he had a list of like 70 other Democrats and people who work for women's healthcare organizations on his hit list of other people he wanted to shoot. Just saying, you know, that's a lot of evidence, and the evidence feels about as strong as the breathalyzer reading was in your DUI case.
Now, you don't have any actual evidence of him being a Republican.
Except we do, because I just pointed out some of it. I know the booze makes your memory a little hazy, but god damn, man, go to a meeting.
Because in Minnesota, you don't register by political party. So he didn't register as a Republican because he couldn't possibly have registered as a Democrat or a Republican.
Jesus Christ, you fucking somewhat sentient bottle of Phillips vodka. Just because you probably can't legally leave the state, and even if you could, you likely don't have the license to operate a motor vehicle to do so, other people can fucking move. So aside from the fact that we know that in 2024 in Minnesota, this terrorist voted in the Republican primary, we also know that in the early 2000s, he lived in Oklahoma, where guess what? He was registered as a fucking Republican. Which is another thing that the prosecutors would call evidence, a concept you might want to brush up on, since it sounds like that little pyramid scheme scam you got going on might be facing legal trouble pretty soon for all of those investors you're defrauding, allegedly.
So I just love to know about this shirt. Yeah, because this doesn't look like Republicans.
And we would love to know what relevance this shirt or picture has to do with literally anything.
Like her shirt, I think, therefore I am a Democrat. He seems pretty happy with her. And his shirt, that is certainly not a Republican shirt.
To be fair, Republicans have spent years claiming they need their guns to resist a tyrannical government. And then when we got the tyrannical government, they forgot to resist it, and instead they turned it into a weird cult. That still doesn't answer the question of what the fuck the people in these pictures have to do with literally anything.
Oh, and they're attending the BLM rallies.
No, it's not. It was at the Houston No Kings protest. Wait, do you think that man is the MAGA terrorist who assassinated the Minnesota lawmakers? Dude, you seriously need to go to a fucking meeting. Like, I drink my fair share, and I am bad with names and faces, and never in my life have I ever been drunk enough to mistake this person with this person. I don't even think Pete Hegseth in the middle of drunk texting war plans to reporters could be drunk enough to fuck that up. Like, I knew you had a problem. Well, lots and lots of problems, but god damn. But all joking aside, though, Joe, you can't even blame this on the alcohol baby, can you? You always know that you're lying, and you do it anyway. And you being a drunk isn't what turns you into a lying, degenerate, subhuman scumbag. I'd venture a bet that you trying to live with yourself and sleep at night because you are a lying, degenerate, subhuman scumbag is what turned you into a drunk. Because you've even admitted that you know you're a liar, and you're doing it on purpose.
You're gonna find a mistake in every video. And I will tell you right now, every fucking one of them is intentional.
And that makes you far, far worse than the mouth-breathing, ignorant incels you exploit with your grifty little lies. And look, you've said and done a lot of heinous, unforgivable, disgusting shit in the past, but this video is a new, low level of vile. Because you personally help radicalize and create people like that MAGA Christian terrorist, and you fucking know it, and you do it anyway. And then when one of the monsters that you actively participate in creating goes out and assassinates lawmakers because of his fucked up dogma, their bodies weren't even cold before you were on here trying to exploit their deaths with blatant lies that you know for a fact were fucking false. Now, since you've probably heard it from every woman who's ever had the misfortune of seeing you naked, it should probably come as no shock to you when I tell you that you are fucking disgusting. And while I am waiting with absolutely bated breath to see whatever consequences come from that little middle-class co-op scam you've just been outed for, whatever they are, it won't be enough. And I don't know what consequences would be enough, but honestly, I do think you came up with an excellent solution to this that at first when I heard I was absolutely appalled by, but but the more I think about it, the more I'm coming around on it. You remember when you whiskey leaked this out of that Trump cock pocket in the middle of your face?
No, I'm perfectly fine with throwing mentally disabled people off a mountain. Yeah, I think people who are going to hold humanity back, we should eliminate them.
Can you define like hold humanity back?
Yeah, people who have met an IQ standard that they cannot support humanity or support a normal job or are mentally disabled.
Yeah, that is maybe some of the most horrible shit I've ever heard a human say, and at first I was just all against it. And I got to thinking about it, I was like, you know what, maybe, just maybe, I judged your plan just a little too harshly and a little too quickly. Because after some careful consideration, I did realize that unless we're going for low scores, there's not a whole lot of IQ bars you're gonna meet, and your existence does absolutely nothing but hold humanity down. And I don't know if I'd ever actually be sold on this, because again, it is super fucked up, but I'm not gonna lie, watching you get yeeted off a mountain wouldn't hurt the sales pitch. And since you believe in this so passionately, I really think you should put your money where your mouth is. And I know that there's not a lot of mountains in Florida, but your fat ass should pick up plenty of speed off the third or fourth balcony of a condo building. So by all means, Joe, go ahead and go do something good for humanity for once. And if you do decide to do it, you can rest easy knowing that just like your ex-wife, none of us will miss you.